Are you sick and tired of your dinky little 2-core radiator overheating in your square body? Yeah, I am too. So in this video, we're gonna get rid of this junk and get a good 4-core rad in her. Alrighty, so what we're gonna be doing today, and it's kind of messed up. I really didn't want to do it this way, but it kind of just makes more sense. So one of the big issues that we've had with this crew cab is that there's a puny little 2-core rad in it, and for the amount of towing this truck does, it does a great job, but on the highway and stuff, she does like to run a little warm. Just for how much we run this truck and how much, you know, we make this little poor 350 do, I really would like to get a better cooling system set up in it. It has the cooler lines going into the rad, so there's a lot of heat in this tiny little rad. Basically what my game plan is today is I have a nice big 4-core aluminum rad to go in it. The only problem with that is that the transcooler lines swap sides. So on a lot of these smaller radiators, all of your transcooler lines are on the passenger side, as on the bigger ones, they come over on this side. So I have the square body pulled up, basically what I'm doing here, and I really hate to gut the good stuff out of this one, but we don't need the rad. But what we do need is the shroud and the transcooler lines, and then the upgrade that we did a few years back was it's all hard lined. So like I said, they obviously come on the driver's side, and then we also have a nice big hankin' transcooler in there. So the game plan is gut the transcooler and the hard lines off this truck and swap them onto this truck with the big 4-core aluminum rad. Definitely not one of my greatest ideas, but it's just something that the crew cab deserves the upgrade. And the square body, realistically, it really doesn't need that big radiator that's in it, so I can live with swapping everything over. Alrighty, update time. Everything that needed to come off of this truck's off this truck, and everything that needed to come off of that truck is off of that truck. Now we're swapping everything over from that truck to this truck. So we got our transcooler lines. There's something that I noticed. So obviously, I think I might have talked about it last year when we were putting this truck together for Power Tour. I was gonna dig into making the AC work. That's why the belt's on it and stuff. I ordered a brand new belt, and I figured, you know what, at some point we'll dive into this thing and find out why it's not working. Huh. Yep, that's just broken. So I'm sure that's not causing an issue or anything. So, but I don't have the stuff to fix it right now. So unfortunately, it's gonna go back together. Part of me was like, well, I just rip the whole, you know, AC stuff out of it, but I don't want to do that. We'll keep it all here, and then basically I'll just have to come up with these end lines that are for the right condenser. Is that what that's called? I don't know. The thing that does the stuff that sends the air to the thing to make it cool and whatever else. I'm sure that'll be one day, you know, down the road. I couldn't care less right now. What really kills me is that that's the new aluminum rad. Here's the old one that was out of that truck. If you guys remember, we pulled this out of a 6.5 diesel in the junkyard. It was a great rad for a while, but it picked up a pinhole leak somewhere at the top here. It might be here. There's a bunch of corrosion down there. It worked for how many years, but basically in order to put this one back into service, I need to fix it or take it to someone who can fix it. So like I said, as much as I hate it, basically this one's gonna go back in it for now. Like I said, I don't like putting the small little dinky radiators in them, but it's what we got to make this all work. All right, Trans-cooler's in, lines all ran, they're in on the trans side, so pretty much ready to drop a radiator in this thing. Make sure that these two lines are gonna hook up and work right. And then we're pretty much replumbing it, making sure everything's tight, and filling that thing up with coolant, putting a little more trans fluid in it. And I think we're pretty much really starting to come together. We got her running here, getting her warmed up. Oh, there's some cold coming through, so the thermostat might be getting ready to fully open here. No leaks so far. So even just checking on the trans cooler and stuff. That all looks dry. It did just rain too, so. Yep, nothing there. Coolant hoses look all right. So I'll bring her fully up on temp here and see what happens. But basically I have to run the snot out of this once it opens up and stuff, just to make sure that's ready to go. It's got a pretty big maiden voyage coming up in a few days here, so definitely want to make sure she's ready. All right, got them both up and running, just checking all the fluids and stuff. Crew cab should be good here. We got the square body all tossed back together with the other rad. Really hate to do the downgrade on the 700 R4 and just have the trans cooler lines loop through the rad, but that's kind of unfortunately where we're at with this. Eventually down the road here, I'll probably dig up like a 3-core rad for it and then maybe think about doing some other sort of trans cooler. I do have this one here. This is the rubber line one I was thinking about throwing in, but I just hate these because the rubber lines always rot out, and then the next thing you know, you're driving it and all of a sudden it starts leaking. And then you're paying the tow bill because, well, you done did smoked her. So one tidbit I did want to give you in case you guys are trying to do this at home, specifically for the trans cooler. There is a certain way you got to set it up, and there is a certain flow direction that the lines go and everything from the pump in the trans. There's 2 lines off your trans. Let me go find an actual transmission to show you. Here's a 2-wheel drive turbo 350. You're going to have 2 lines on the side here. You got this one and this one. Your top one is your return, so that means fluid's coming up, in, and into the trans. As your bottom one is going to be what they would call like the hot fluid, the fluid coming out, so it circulates. So transmission fluid comes into the trans, cycles through the trans, comes back out of this bottom line, and then runs up. It's the same, as far as I'm aware, on the 700 R4s, the turbo 350s, and the turbo 400s. Now, for the way that we have it set up here in the rad, basically the hot fluid comes up through this line. This line is the line that runs down over to the hot line of the trans, comes up. It goes down through the radiator core and then comes back out of the radiator core down here. I've seen a lot of guys debating on, which way it needs to be set up. For me, the way that I like to think about it is the direction of flow in which it is easiest for the transmission fluid to be pushed is the way that you want to push it. So if it's pushing up, it doesn't make sense to be trying to push fluid up through the rad core and then out through this way. So we have it set up so it comes in through the top here, drops down, then comes back out of the radiator, and then it makes its way over to the trans cooler. So there's lines up here, as I showed you before. So then it pushes the trans fluid up through this side of the core, it runs through all of those, and then drops back out of that fitting. I wanted to throw that in there for you guys in case you guys, I felt like it was worthy of mentioning, just because if I didn't, you guys would be like, well, I'm trying to do this at home and I watched this video to figure that out and I didn't tell you. So that's how that works. As far as it goes with the radiator itself, that's pretty simplistic. This hose runs into your thermostat. Thermostat opens, coolant runs through the engine block. Water pump circulates it. And then for stuff like this is going to be for your heater core. This one's for your overflow. And for the heater core ones, the lower one, which is the out, basically pushes the fluid back into the rad, cools it. And then there's another fitting on the... Yeah, it's right there. The other fitting's on the intake. It comes out through the intake and then circulates back through your heater core, comes back through this way. So if I give you a full rundown on how the whole cooling system between the coolant and the ATF actually works, so you kind of can wrap your head around it. Hopefully it makes sense and hopefully it helps you out. Well, the rad swap and the transcooler swap was a success here on the crew cab. Really happy we did it. As you guys saw, if you want to go watch the whole video, that will be coming out in the next few weeks or so. If I can remember, I'll try to leave it linked up here for you somewhere so you can go check that video out. Basically, we took this down to northern Delaware to drag home 3 CJ7s and a Chevy Silverado. And we put this truck to work. This thing gave everything it had, and it's still here in one piece. So pretty proud of her. Did a great job. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're new to Boneyard Revivals, hey, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you a part of the family here. If you got a project that you're wrenching on, let me know down in the comment sections. If you don't have one, go get yourself one. Just do it. Don't sit there on Marketplace at night and hesitate. No, just make terrible financial decisions. It's the best advice I'll ever give you. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you next time here on Boneyard Revivals. Take care. It's a few weeks after swapping transcoolers and rads with these trucks, and we have a dilemma. The 700R4 just blew up in the square body. I'm not joking. Here's the video proof, actually. Well, took a square body out for a drive. Had some running around to do today. Running good, but starting to pull a hill, and all of a sudden it just started revving. Pulled over, checked trans fluid. It's full on the stick. The only gear she has left is first, so we're trying to gently get her home here. And yeah, so well, for how hard it's pulling, might actually have second too still here, but yep, I think we just grenaded this 700R4. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I figured this 700R4 was gonna do that at some point here. When we put the new motor in it last year, I saw the trans fluid color, and it wasn't red. It was kind of turning brown. And I was like, well, we have some friction clutches that are not doing too well. But I said, trans is in the truck and it still works. We're going to run it till it blows. And, well, I guess it decided to do it now, which sucks because this truck does this once a year. Why is always something breaking on this truck? This is the one that probably gets the most money, attention, and time put into it, and it's garbage. That transmission rebuild was a $2,300 transmission. It lasted 3 years and like 50,000 miles. Boom, done. Just junk. Crew cab still keeps going though. I don't understand this truck, dude. Good thing we do have extra transmissions laying around. I guess basically I just need to get in there and put another transmission in it. This will be transmission number 4 for this truck. Yeah, we're doing really well.